Welcome to StaffBuffalo's Pain Points podcast, where we unravel the complexities of staffing, human resources, and other challenges faced by businesses today. Welcome to the Pain Points podcast. I'm Lauren Lewis, and I'm here with Sondra Vidal, sales executive and business owner. Sondra, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you, Lauren. We've known each other for a long time, and now I'm able to share my whole journey with you.
It's so fun, even just chatting leading up to filming this podcast today about kind of similar journeys too amongst sales and owning businesses and just the community in Buffalo and in Western New York and how it's really helped us kind of develop
to where things are today. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'd love to have you start by telling everyone your journey and kind of where you started and getting into the sales world.
It has been such an eclectic but meaningful journey for me, and we're incorporating a lot of that in the mural behind us, actually. So we are at Trust Staffing, which is my husband's company, and he has been the number one company to work for in Western New York as a large company for quite some time now. And a lot of what I've learned is through our partnership as a team. We've been together for 16 years. When we met, I was just graduating college with a degree in psychology, and I had planned on pursuing my PhD in organizational industrial psychology. I just wanted to create a best fit model for employees and employers and save each organization one at a time. And that's what I was telling my husband, trying to convince him that that's what I should be doing. And he told me, Sondra, you've never worked in an organization and nobody's gonna take you seriously. So go get a job. And you know what? You're pretty darn good at sales.
Well, I think also the organizational development aspect of it and pain points behind that is so beneficial probably throughout your career.
Absolutely.
And the companies you've worked with, the customers you've supported along the way, and the relationships you've built.
Absolutely, and psychology has a foundation in all of that type of sales strategy. Establishing a foundation of personality skills and emotional intelligence. I learned through my degree, but also in the hospitality industry, much like yourself, working in restaurants. And so not having work experience in sales, I thought to myself, how do I get started? So I literally applied to every single sales role in Buffalo, New York. And I was 21 years old. The first company to give me a chance was Buffalo Alarm.
So thank you, Buffalo Alarm.
Thanks, Buffalo Alarm. I give you full credit.
Shout out.
Yes, Tom Powers gave me that chance. He was the GM over at Buffalo Alarm, now started his own company called Powered Protection. He's a great man, great person, and brought me in for sales. And in the first 3 months, selling security systems, fire alarms, and surveillance to companies and residential properties, I was Employee of the Month my first quarter.
Awesome.
So
Did they start you with any sort of sales training or just kind of?
I was shadowing Tom.
Okay.
Pretty much just
So
following along, just learning
experience.
firsthand. And that's what I've found to be a common trend in any type of sales role. To really entrench your relationship with someone, to earn their trust, you have to be a product expert.
Yeah.
So by me shadowing Tom, who knew everything about how to spec a building and how to protect it and the product within it, I learned firsthand from the best. And I was just a sponge absorbing the pain points of the customer first and foremost, and understanding what solutions I had available to help them accomplish that goal. So he really did a wonderful job, not necessarily training me, but allowing me to watch him at his best.
And I think that's important. So many times, I started my career in pharmaceutical sales, and so big corporation, and going through sales training, and everything's very academic at first, and they put you into role playing and figure out how to do a sales call, and identifying the pain points of the customer, and then
but not seeing it firsthand.
Not seeing it firsthand. And I learned a lot once I got in the field.
You know,
you're such a different sales training, and I'm thinking I am like a rock star. I knew nothing.
Right, you know, and that's why
I learned, like, really kind of came from
just
working
doing
with
it,
my customers and doing it and learning from my partners.
Listening to the customer, and that's why I was never good at role playing.
I was the worst. I hated it.
I was so bad.
I hated it.
So after Buffalo Alarm, since I had seen such great success in sales pretty early on, I was recruited to a large organization called Worldwide Express Logistics. Today it's Unishippers, and that's when I had my formal training for sales. And gosh, did they throw out so many hypothetical situations at you, the role playing, I was like clunky. I'm used to just talking to the customer and figuring it out, you know, listening to what they need and knowing my product, how I can help them. So yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly. The best experience you can in sales is just diving right in. Don't think too much about a potential conversation. Know as much as you need to know about the product, and then be a very good listener. And if you don't know the answer, a customer has never fake it.
No.
Be honest.
It is okay to say,
It's okay, I
I
don't know.
That's a great question. And then you come back to that.
And then that's the
With an
important
answer
part
for
to
them.
gain trust is that you do come back with the answer eventually. And quickly, I would say.
Yeah, quickly is ideal.
Yeah,
But again, because they're a touch point too with your customers to continue building that relationship
building
with them
the
as well,
trust.
and really knowing what they need and helping support their business.
Yes. So very much like your experience when you're thrown into the real world sales environment, that's when you learn the best lessons. And at Worldwide Express Logistics, aka Unishippers, I was selling UPS small package shipping and freight. And I came from a sales class of about 40 people, and I was fighting against folks selling in much better markets. I love Buffalo, but
Bigger
much larger
markets.
markets, San Francisco, Dallas, Miami. We're all coming from different locations, and I thought to myself, how am I going to compete in this environment coming into the same sales role in a much more challenging market? So thinking, where's the most shipping? I myself, 21 years old, go to Niagara Falls. I had a map. Yes, I was a true road warrior. I had my physical map and a highlighter, and I went door to door. And I had a point system for myself. I would need to hit at least 50 doors in a day. And my point system can be a combination of what would be cold calling and meetings. And at the end of the day, I would not finish my day unless I hit that 50 points. So a meeting's 10 points. I needed to have 5 meetings. If I had 3, I'd go cold call 20 doors.
Right.
And so I set that standard for myself, knowing that putting that activity in will produce the results I need. And I've never necessarily thought about a quota. We've talked about this. And what the ultimate sales goal was financially. I just knew if I put my work in, truly listened to the customers that I was meeting with and identifying and building that level of trust for maybe not a transactional type of relationship, much long term, much more long term.
Exactly. And I think that goes so far when you are in business.
Oh, certainly.
You know, it's not about you and
Never.
what your goals are. It's about your customers, the people you work with, the people who you can support and who you can provide solutions to their organization for their pain points.
Exactly, that's
really
it.
Best help them help their customers. And it's just that big cycle where we're all working together to keep moving forward and advancing, right?
100%. And even if the product that you have that you're selling today, it might not be the product you're selling to a potential customer 10 years from then. But if you have established that relationship built on trust and understanding their needs, and then you have a product down the road that maybe can help them, they're much more willing to sit back down with you and hearing you out.
Absolutely.
And that's why I've had a very eclectic career in sales. I started with alarms, then shipping, and then I went to American Express. I was recruited to Amex.
Very different. Financial service world.
It seems different, but in most sales roles, it's this type of sales. So
Yeah.
with shipping, it was a residual, monthly, volume-based relationship, right? I had to make sure that they were shipping the same volume. If they were slipping or going to competitor, I had to understand why. Very much with selling card programs with American Express. It's a very transaction volume-based relationship. And so it was very similar. And that's why American Express does recruit within the shipping space, because it's the same type of setup.
They know the type of salesperson too. They're going to get someone who has that grit and the tenacity and just has that long-term, like they're not afraid to knock on doors. Right? And cold call.
Absolutely. And that was so exciting too for both of those roles, being in a sales environment where everybody who is in a certain space ships, right? If you have a product, you're in manufacturing, you're shipping. If you're a law office, you're shipping out titles to get signatures. You're sending out those standard
healthcare organizations, you're shipping out, like if you do blood draws, you're shipping all those out.
So all different types of industries that you're working with, very similar to American Express. American Express, everybody has payables.
Yes.
I worked with everybody at a certain size.
Yeah.
My focus is on the middle market, and man, that organization is just such an incredible organization. I'm so fond of everybody at Amex, still am. Unfortunately, Amex 2 or 3 years ago now maybe had a major reorg. And so they eliminated good 70-80% of their field management.
That happens a lot at the big
And
organizations.
that's a change. That's so tough. That was painful for me.
Yeah.
But, I look at the positive. I had a great severance, about 6 months paid, all bonuses, so I still love them. And it gave me the opportunity to be a little bit more risky in my next sales venture. And that's why I love bringing my husband into this story, because I've witnessed his journey at Trusted Nurse Staffing from inception. He started this company in 2008, the year we met, and I have seen this man grind every single day during that time frame. And he typically would work contract assignments with travel nurses, but he had to do per diems, and I would see him take phone calls every day from hospitals, nurses not showing up. 24 hours a day he was receiving these phone calls. And I was
trying to find someone to fill those
and it was
roles
urgent, and it's about like healthcare too.
Right.
You want
You
to
need
provide
people.
those
You need staff
solutions.
there.
You need people to take care of these people. So him, and I just value that experience so much, and see the progression. The mural behind us is the progression of his office space, you know, starting in one place, and now we're the anchor tenant at 500 Seneca, which is very, very cool.
Yeah, and great office space. Sondra graciously gave us a tour around the office, and it's such a beautiful space. And you know, known Trusted Nurse Staffing over the year, and I've known them since they started on Tupper, now to 500
And now to
Seneca.
500.
So it's
It's
amazing
really
to
neat.
see the journey and see the growth in their organization and the people who are here, the people who've been here since day one.
Yeah, we still
and new
have
faces along the
yeah,
way. It's
we
great.
still have some of the OG 16
It
years
speaks
ago.
volumes about an organization.
Well,
and I'm sure
no.
you've seen that and are so proud of Martin and what he's done over the years.
Well,
to
not only
accomplish
am I
that.
so proud of him having this success in business, but he is now in a position to be a Buffalo Angel, so he's an angel investor.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so when I experienced the layoff at American Express, I had interviewed with several startups, large organizations. I actually landed a job with a large bank here in Buffalo. And then my husband said, you know what, before you start at this large bank, I know you'll be happy, but I recently invested in a local startup that I think really resonates with you as a person. And I would love for you to have lunch with the founder and his son. And I thought, hey, you know what the heck, why not? I already...
Nothing to lose.
I have nothing to lose, yeah. I already agreed to the other one, so hey, if this is a magical opportunity that I can't turn down, then, you know, I doubt it, but we'll see. Well, within like 5 minutes of having lunch with the founders of Favordrop, I knew I had to jump right in. And so I was employee number one at a very, very, very early stage startup.
Which I think that's scary for a lot of people.
Yeah,
right?
it was
To
extremely
be,
scary.
It can be, you know, very rewarding too,
Yeah.
and it takes a special type of person to understand a startup and what that's like to come in at the ground level.
Absolutely.
A lot of times you're trying to bootstrap the company, you're trying to find
identify
investors.
Yes.
You're trying to do so many different things and wear so many different hats
Yes.
to
so
keep the
many
business
hats.
moving forward and building connections with people to help bring them on too and make them feel the excitement around the
I know,
organization and being
and
a part of it.
It's so true. Favordrop is such an incredible product that it can solve so many different pain points for a company.
Tell us more about what Favordrop is and the pain points itself.
Absolutely. So Favordrop is a digital gifting platform. So I can send a digital gift that is time-bound via text message or email, so it goes directly to someone's phone, and the gifter sets the parameters of how long it can be used within, and it's going to be used at a local restaurant. And so what started as a fun, playful way to have a friend meet you began transforming into a very effective marketing and employee appreciation tool. So organizations can time-bound gift to support local for either their customers or their employees, celebrating that community aspect. And the beauty behind Favordrop, that it's time-bound, if the Favordrop is not redeemed within the time frame that the gifter sets, then the funds come back to the organization or the gifter. So you basically put all of the control of gifting to the gifter as opposed to the giftee.
Which is kind of nice because I think, you know, I think about all the gift certificates and gift cards I have lying around, and my husband and I were talking the other day about the amount of gift certificates we have to one of our favorite restaurants, which we always just forget to bring them, and they just sit in the drawer, and we're like, we have to go use these.
And now you have one right on your phone. You can access it no matter where you are.
Easier.
And you don't have to feel bad if you don't use it, because if the gifter sets parameters and the money comes back. And so for organizations,
you still feel that value of like,
Yes.
wow, they thought about me. They're gifting you something, but then when it's not used.
You're like, oh, it's okay. They get their money back. It's all
lost.
good.
And they know. And I will say, because we've used Favordrop at StaffBuffalo, it is very clear how much time you have with the Favordrop in order to redeem it.
And there's touch points along the way too. And so for organizations, it's perfect for business development when you want to stay in front of your customer in a non-invasive but more delightful way that helps support local. So the organization finds value and the restaurants that are on the platform receive new customers, and the customers get so excited when they use their Favordrop because it's a great experience. It's just a QR code on your phone that they then scan and reduce the amount on your check. It's
so easy.
It's so easy. It's super fun and playful.
And supporting local, to me, I'm like, anything we can do to continue supporting local is amazing. So if you know any
restaurants,
businesses,
absolutely. Go to favordrop.com/merchants. You can see who's on the Favordrop platform today, and you can even make requests for who you would like to see on the platform.
I've done that.
Yes, and it doesn't cost the restaurant anything to be on. So if you find any organization that can benefit, that's gifting already and spending hundreds of thousands on gifting, it just disappears. You're not able to track it. This is a way for a business to track their gifting and to save money on the unredeemed, and to outreach the community in a really meaningful and playful way. So there's so many benefits to Favordrop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and so I am still actively an owner of Favordrop, and I also, as you notice, have a shirt on today representing my full-time job.
See a need, take the lead.
See a need, take the lead with RelPro. So RelPro is my full-time job. I'm so grateful to have been welcomed to the RelPro family. I used RelPro every day at American Express. So it's a business development software specific to the financial services space where we're a data aggregator. If you're looking for a specific type of company within a certain area, with a certain revenue range, a certain employee count, as a salesperson, within a specific industry that you have had success with, you can identify those companies very quickly and easily on this platform. And then to take it a step further, you can find the people within those organizations that you would like to reach out to. So specific roles, their cell phone numbers and emails. So
awesome.
It's a very powerful tool. It helps a salesperson or frontline banker save a tremendous amount of time identifying the right opportunities and who to reach out to.
Sometimes you can go down rabbit holes trying to identify who to reach out to, who's at a company, where their contact information is, can you find it? And
you have 15 browsers open looking for all of those little
right?
It is yes, such a pain point. So RelPro solves that pain point.
Yeah.
And we work with some of the largest banks in the country, including American Express naturally, but several others. We have 8 out of the top 10 banks that work with us, and now we're branching out into the community banks and credit unions, trying to introduce the product. But I find there's a lot of synergy between RelPro and Favordrop, and Favordrop did contribute a lot of the community involvement that we're aligned with. A lot of the banks love to be a part of the community and get to do a lot of these nonprofit type of efforts.
Yeah.
Actually today when I was volunteering, that's why I have my volunteer shirt on, I'm lucky to work for an organization that supports volunteer work, and they even delegate one day a year that I can go out and serve the community, a paid day for RelPro, which was really sweet. But I was volunteering in the food pantry today, and one of the largest banks that I'm currently working with supports that nonprofit organization. And Favordrop really helped me understand the impact that community work can have. And so bringing all of these things together, it is a culmination of all of these different experiences and the network that's been established with every type of industry over the past 20 years of experience. It really comes to a full circle moment when you're in the field, understanding the impact another company you work with makes within that community. So one of the banks, they supplied all of the resources that were being distributed today to the east side, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing to experience.
It is, and it's so nice. Sometimes you take for granted when you're not in those situations, right? Where you have to go to a food bank to get your food. When you can give back, it really does go a long way, especially in this community, because like you said, the network kind of comes full circle.
It does, yes.
And it helps support the community, volunteering in a nonprofit. And it's amazing when you work for an organization that's not based in Buffalo or in Western New York, and they support that.
They do.
So many times it's hard to try and, you feel so far away, and you feel out of touch with your community when you work for a company that's not based in Western New York. I felt that a lot, like in pharmaceutical sales, because my companies were either based in Indianapolis or New Jersey. Even though my territory covered all across Western New York and every point from Niagara Falls to Jamestown to Olean to Rochester, I never felt that sense of connection to my community. And they started doing community, like, give back days and community service days where we'd get our team together, we'd find a nonprofit locally to help work at. But Well, sometimes it felt like it was like a one and done.
Yeah.
So how do we continue to maintain these relationships in the community to continue to support our community and the people in our community and build those networks around that?
Yeah, I think it's been an incredible journey being selected to be on the board of a few different nonprofit organizations that I'm with. Today I was volunteering at Felician Community Services based at Villa Maria College. Amazing things that they're doing every day. And what I love the most about the experience today was that the folks coming in to get the food items that they needed didn't feel shameful or embarrassed that they were there. Yeah. That organization, Felician Community Services, they provide an experience for the residents of the East Side to come in unapologetically, and it brightens their day. And they look forward to going there every single week. But to continue understanding what opportunities are out there, follow different organizations that are on the grounds doing this type of work. I work with Hope Rises. Hope Rises is a network is amazing. The key focus is with Hope Rises, any kind of good news. It's a good news network. There's a segment on Channel 4. It's actually, there's one airing today that I was a part of this morning, which was great.
You got a full day.
I know, it's good. I love community work.
You still have good energy, which is great. Sometimes you do so much and you're like, especially communicating externally, and then you're just drained. I know sometimes my social battery like that gets so drained.
These things excite me.
Energy.
Yeah, these things really excite me because of the impact that it has on the community. So Hope Rises is an organization that supports a lot of veteran work, and pediatric cancer is a big focus. Yeah. So definitely go to hoperisesnews.com so you can get a better understanding of the types of events that are happening to support those causes. And
that's great.
The Power of the Pack was introduced to me over the past couple of years. It's a women empowerment nonprofit, and so we understand at Power of the Pack that a woman alone is powerful, but a group of women supporting together creates impact.
That's just a great organization.
Cool. Great organization.
We do a lot. We'll do the Cooks for Kids at Ronald McDonald House with
I
our
love
group.
it.
And
Yes.
we love going in and like making dinner and meals for them and dessert.
Yeah, the meal makers. You can volunteer anytime. You just go on their website. There's a calendar. You can select when you want to volunteer. They just ask that you provide the food materials and you just prep the food there. And
they have a great kitchen that you can
It's
prep
beautiful.
in.
They're renovating it right now, actually. So the proceeds, another reason
there.
we chose Ronald McDonald House this year is they're going through a major renovation to make the Ronald McDonald House accessible for everyone. So they're building ramps. And
which, thinking back and being there, I never noticed that it was not accessible.
Right.
But I'm not someone that is bound to a wheelchair. Or anything.
Right.
So I
know.
never realized.
We have to be mindful.
You kind of think that, like, wow, they weren't accessible. And they're a healthcare organization supporting people who have a variety of healthcare needs.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing to me
their
that
work is so meaningful to so many people here in the community. And so
and beyond.
Definitely volunteer work, follow the different events that support them too. The last organization that you can support or follow is Trusted Gives. And I think a lot of the work I had been involved with, involving Favordrop with the community and identifying ways to give back, inspired the team here at Trusted Nurse Staffing, and we established what's called Trusted Gives. It really was launched after the TOPS tragedy, understanding the needs that the East Side had without the produce or the necessary items, the hygiene.
Food desert.
It was a food desert.
Side,
And a lot of the folks at Trusted Nurse Staffing either have family that live on the East Side or live there themselves and firsthand experienced the drought. Yeah. Trusted Gives is another organization that we support here. It was established after the TOPS tragedy. Trusted Gives is a subset of Trusted Nurse Staffing. My husband established alongside Shannon and Jessica here at Trusted Nurse. And it was born through the TOPS tragedy based on the needs that they have and the necessities that were unavailable to them, from hygiene, food desert. And now we celebrate 716 Community Day, bringing the community together to provide at least 1,000 hot meals, fresh food and produce to the residents of the East Side.
Wow.
And
so impactful.
It's incredible to see firsthand what a difference it makes. We actually have a gala coming up this February to help raise money for that special occasion. So stay tuned with Trusted Gives on ways that you can help support that initiative as well.
And I know you just mentioned 3 amazing organizations, and forgive me if I forgot one. Hope Rises.
Yes.
Power of the Pack.
Yep.
And Trusted Gives.
Absolutely. Yep.
Did I miss any?
No, not that I'm aware of. Currently, not yet. We'll see.
If people are interested in following these organizations or becoming a part, can they find them online?
Yep, on their websites and our social media handles on Instagram. So it's Power of the Pack Western New York. Trusted Gives is the handle on Instagram. Hope Rises is a very large entity in and of itself, almost 1 million followers between all social media outlets, which is incredible. Kate Glazer's the founder. And I do have to say, Kate welcomed me into the nonprofit world just with open arms. I attribute a lot of my work in the community from Kate at Hope Rises. She was the first organization I started working with through Favordrop after the West Side Bazaar fire.
Oh, right.
A lot of those families, well, all of the families that had restaurants at the West Side Bazaar were displaced.
Right.
They had nowhere to,
they didn't know where to go to do
that's
their
their
work.
sole. That's their sole providers, and that's
Yeah.
their only way to generate income. And they were out of a place to work. So, at Favordrop, we began in a barn with commercial grade kitchenware in it. The founder, Tim Sardinia, he's a restaurateur himself. He had plans of building out the barn into another restaurant, and so we were just working out of there because it was just an empty space.
When you're
Right.
a startup, you work in any space you can get. One of the main
Anything.
things of a startup, you find where you can work. We started
Right.
StaffBuffalo out of Maggie's dining room.
Right,
Yeah,
absolutely,
so,
yeah.
found
It
our
started
space.
in, I think, one of our friends' basements and then transitioned over to the barn with kitchen. It was a really funny dynamic at the time, but when we understood the need of these refugee families, so we reached out to the Weedy organization, which is a phenomenal organization, and we asked, how can we help? We have this space with commercial grade kitchenware in it. Who can we help within your organization? And there was one family in particular that was ready to graduate from the program. And so it's a Chinese, 007 Chinese. So we gifted them our space essentially. And that's when I met Kate, who just thought the story was so inspiring, and even Chef Darian. That's when we established our great connection with Chef Darian, because coming in as a refugee himself in the restaurant space, it made a lot of sense for him to stand behind all that we were doing in support of Weedy. And so without that experience, what came from a tragedy led to something so much more, and we're just so grateful for that connection and to have been a part of it.
Exactly, and that's so much through life, whether it's businesses, nonprofits, they start from something.
Yeah.
They see a need in the community, they
Right.
identified a pain point that's missing, a gap in the community, or a need. How do we fulfill that? And that's, nonprofits start that way.
Absolutely,
Businesses
but
start
other
that
businesses
way.
start that way. Actually,
Yep.
I have one more to talk about. I own
Yes.
a baby boutique. So it's called Luke and Lyla, inspired by my two little children.
Yes,
and
a big part of your life.
such a big part of my life. And I
why?
live in the North Towns. There's not a lot of options for baby clothes outside of like Target. There's a couple smaller options, but I was gifted once magnetic pajamas when my kids were little. And that changed my life. I decided every parent needs magnetic pajamas, because the pain of changing in the middle of the night diapers, or feeding them in the middle of the night, they throw up, and then having to deal with the buttons and the zippers in the dark, it's a nightmare. Or if your in-laws are taking care of them, that's me. I leaned heavily on my in-laws, and they're older, they have arthritis. And so I sent the kids in wearing magnetic pajamas, and they very quickly said, I'm not allowed to bring anything else.
Oh my gosh. So
I specialize now. I needed to solve the pain point of buttons and zippers, and decided if anybody's going to do it, I might as well do it. So I have a baby store that specializes in magnetic pajamas.
Luke and Lyla.
Luke and Lyla, yes.
So it specializes in the magnetic pajamas. I'm not a parent, but I've always heard the magnetic pajamas are amazing. For babies
Amazing.
and
Very
kids.
stretchy, soft, just a pleasant experience overall, and the cutest designs. And the names of these designs are adorable. My favorite right now. It's called Turnip the Beet.
Oh, so is it turnips and beets?
There's dancing vegetables and fruit.
So cute.
It's the best.
Oh my
It
gosh.
really is.
So do you design the pajamas too, or do you source them from
No,
other
I source
binders?
them. So
Awesome.
actually, the brand was created early 2020. So it's January 2020, and I thought, I have this vision of this beautiful store. So I dragged my husband to New York City. We went to the world's largest trade show for children's clothing, and I went
fun.
to every single vendor there, all 200 of them, and I sourced my suppliers based on their quality, their ethics, they're women-owned, and they give back to organizations that help children.
I love that.
So very intentional, and it's extremely high quality items. Nothing that I would only want someone to buy something from my store that I feel that is eco-friendly, that is of high quality, and of some type of importance or meaning.
Right.
So that's how we got started.
It's always good, I think, when you can buy something and it gives back. Like, I love the Bombas socks.
Yes.
The Bombas socks
I love
are
Bombas
amazing.
socks.
They're
Yep.
so great. And every time you buy a pair, they donate a pair.
Well, you know what I'm doing, taking that a step further, something that I'm about to implement with my store. If you buy something online from my store, I will include a pre-labeled bag with it that can be filled with items that are no longer needed. And I'm going to be sending those items to the Harvest House and to the Felician Community Services Center.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Always giving back. I love it.
Yes,
And I think
it's important.
What's so great about your story was we talked about a lot. Right? A lot of different pain points from building your career as a sales professional and sales executive, navigating pain points for different businesses you worked with along the way.
Absolutely.
And then also identifying pain points of opportunity in the community, opportunity for other businesses, opportunity for nonprofits to support. Again, it keeps going back to people in the community.
It's about creating a network of people that trust you, that you have solutions for that meet a need, whether it's community driven or professionally driven or personally driven. It's all encompassing at the end of the day. I love, I guess, unapologetically, and I love establishing connections and then supporting new connections within my network. It's just very meaningful, and it gives me purpose every day.
It's amazing, and it's fun, I think, to kind of find those networks and meet new people and see how you can support each other, because we talked about it a little bit earlier in the podcast, but thinking about your journey as a sales professional too, and helping provide solutions for organizations. It's not immediate, it's not transactional, and there's a lot of cross-pollination across everything you're involved in, but across business in general, where you might be helping someone today, and you might be talking to an organization and understanding and uncovering some of their needs. Maybe it's not a need you can solve.
Today.
You can introduce them to someone else who might be able to solve their need, but down the line, they also might come back to you because you've built that relationship with them. You've established that rapport. And then they know, hey, I'm gonna call Sondra when I need.
Yes, it's about a long-term partnership of information.
Yes,
just being, I guess, a student of life, understanding new opportunities that are out there, new products that can help, and just aligning on it without hesitation. And that's how you generate trust and build these long-lasting, not only working relationships, but I consider all the clients that I work with friends because I truly care.
I love that. It's awesome. No matter they're near or far, right? Probably
no, I have customers everywhere.
Across the country. Probably outside of the country too, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Canada, France.
Oh, I do have clients in Canada.
See? There we go.
Yeah, yes.
Although sometimes I feel like when you're in Buffalo, Canada does not feel like it's another country.
Oh, it's not. It's just a neighbor.
It's just so
neighbors.
close.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky that we are able to have that cross-border relationship with Canada and able to experience their culture.
I do. I agree.
So close.
I agree. It's so close. I never go to Toronto enough. It's right there.
I definitely don't.
As close to Rochester.
A few years. And I'm like, it's why?
I don't know.
Why haven't I gone in that long?
Well, let's plan a work trip.
Let's do it. Maybe we'll get some Favordrop clients up there.
Yes. There's banks up in Canada.
There you go.
I can work with them with RelPro.
Perfect.
Yeah. See, just finding new opportunities.
And you can find opportunities anywhere you go, I think, which is awesome and so fun.
So fun.
So Sondra, thank you for sharing your journey and your story with us and helping us to talk about different pain points you've uncovered along the way and solutions you provided. If people want to get in touch with you or any of the organizations you are involved with, please let us know.
Yes, follow my journey on social media. My Instagram handle is buff_mommy. I work out and I'm from Buffalo. I'm a mother.
Who works?
So I incorporate all of these different things on my social media. By contact me through email if you are inspired by anything that you learned about today with any organizations that I work with. Please do reach out. You can reach me just at my Gmail account, sondravidal@gmail.com is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me.
How about LinkedIn? Do you have a LinkedIn page
Oh, LinkedIn too. Sondra Vidal on LinkedIn. Yes, always on there every day. So.
And then you can always look up Trusted Nurse Staffing, Trusted Gives, RelPro, Favordrop, and Luke and Lyla.
Yeah,
Luke and touched on the other nonprofits earlier too, so I wanted to make sure I got everything
I appreciate that. Yeah, Power of the Pack, Hope Rises,
Yeah.
Trusted Gives, RelPro, Favordrop, Luke and Lyla.
Awesome. Is there anything else you want to add?
No,
today?
I'm just grateful to be here with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for listening. And I hope to hear from you in the future.
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you for sharing your space and your story with us.
Yeah, happy to. Thank you.
Yes. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Pain Points podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, Be sure to follow us so you never miss out on future episodes.